This gets overlooked a lot, and I don't want you to overlook it anymore. And it's so subtle and so simple, but it has a profound impact on the person that is interacting with your sales documentation. What I mean by that is your LinkedIn, your GitHub, your portfolio, your projects. This hiring manager or recruiter that needs access to what you have wants it now. And I know from personal experience, the last time I had 500 resumes to review in 1 week, I'll tell you this, when I found something I liked, I wanted instant access to code. I wanted instant access to their email, to their phone number, to all these different things that I could utilize in a moment's notice to say yes or no to this candidate, they do or don't get an interview. And what I want to talk through today is that exact process I went through from the other side and how you can just verify rather quickly that you passed the 60 seconds to sell. This video, we're going to explore this concept of 60 seconds to sell and showing you what you need to do to make sure this is possible. At the same time, if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell and the thumbs up button for more of this in the future. We really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. And my name is Jason Humphrey. I help aspiring software engineers grow their career or start their career finding the job that they want. Now, in this video, we're going to dive more into this concept of 60 seconds to sell. And it's extremely important. I already illustrated it in the beginning, but now let's think about it. What is it that you want to see, right? If you saw the video up above on this playlist, you saw from the user experience perspective all the different areas and how to drive the user experience. Well, now you've driven the user experience, but can you get them there? That's ultimately what this test is. And you're going to see different things come up behind me on the screen right now. But first and foremost, when someone comes in to interact with your content, and I say content in the sense of, let's just start with your resume. If someone comes in to interact with your resume and they like what they read because you sold them a story and a user experience, they're like, yes, this is the person for me. And you did so damn well that they want to check out your code. So part of this 60 seconds to sell is, do they have access to everything they would want? And that's what we're going to cover now. So first things first, they're going to want access to your code. Plain and simple. They're going to want to go over to your GitHub. And so they're going to want to navigate from your resume to your GitHub. Now, when they get to your GitHub, can they navigate to the next thing they want? Potentially back to their LinkedIn, maybe to an email, maybe to a phone number. You know, GitHub now has those new personalized pages that are honestly pretty epic because you can write whatever you want in Markdown and sell yourself. Now, there's more than just the resume and GitHub, because if you go down further in GitHub, there are projects, there's READMEs, there's code. At the same time, you have deployed portfolio sites. So if you want them to see a demo, when they go from your resume, click on your GitHub, can they get to a demo like that? Do you pin the proper repositories? Do you sell what you can best, or what you want to see best, really, in that personalized README? Now, this is still just the start, because do you want them to see recommendations? Have you made it easy and have you starred your recommendations so if they want a recommendation from your resume, they can get to your LinkedIn? From their LinkedIn, or from your LinkedIn, they can go to your featured section and see the blogs you've written. They can see your GitHub. They can see your best projects. At the same time, down below, they're going to go down and see these recommendations I was just talking about because they were looking for them. Even then, is it easy to call you, email, text you? Because this is something I've noticed that I understand. There is a fear out there of, I don't want my information public. And I hear you on that. You know, no one does. So what can you do? Well, you can get a new Gmail email, have all emails forwarded to your normal email, and create a Google Voice number that you put that Google Voice out there in the public and load the app. And trust me, I have a Google Voice. I do not get many robocalls to my Google Voice. I get a whole heck of a lot to my personal cell. So when we think about having that access to your cell phone, having that access to your email, being able to text you, this is where you've got to put in your LinkedIn. You've got to put it in Well, your GitHub, your resume, you need all this stuff publicly accessible. Here's a prime reason why. In the example I gave you when I had 500 applicants to review in 1 week, one of my personal favorite things to do, because it keeps me on point, is I will find who I like, I'll get them in a list, and I'll come back, I'll look for their number, and I'll just straight call them up and say, hey, do you have time next Monday, next Tuesday? Like, this is what I'm doing. I am calling you up. I'm not going to write emails because I want an answer now. I want to get the schedule filled out, because when you have 500 applicants and you're trying to schedule 20 to 30 interviews, sending out a whole bunch of emails, sure, I could send them out and wait on them, but it's also just as easy to call them up, start getting people in the schedule, because I only have a certain amount of time. It's not like I can say, oh, I've got all week. No, I only have certain slots open. So when I call you, I'm going to tell you, I've got these slots open. Now that's a personal preference. I get a lot of people who would like to do email, and that's fine, but I'm one that's going to call you, to be honest. And I want access to anything my team needs. And code's also another big thing that we've already been talking about, but code's a big personal thing that I'm going to look at your GitHub. But you also need to make sure then, with each experience you have, you also have the right data you want them to see. This, yes, partially goes back to the user experience point, but in the sense of the 60 seconds to sell, I'm also going to go look at your experience. Do I have access to your links? Do I have access to public URLs? Potentially some of your previous work was private. No, that's fine. But remember, as we summarize the end of this video, and I get this hasn't been a long one because it's a really simple concept, what the 60 seconds to sell is this external experience they have from being able to jump from anywhere in your documentation, from your resume to your LinkedIn, to your GitHub, to your projects, to your code. Can they at any given point get access back all the way to the beginning? And I mean that seriously. If I'm in a project, a personal project, README, I need to have a link back to your resume. I need to have a link back to your GitHub, there's got to be something there for me to always enter in from any step in the process and to get all the way back from the beginning, or get all the way back to the beginning. At the same time, I should be able to start in LinkedIn or your resume and get all the way to code, get all the way to your most recent project that you want me to do. So the question becomes, is your current experience that you give, that people can access all your information, can anyone access it in 60 seconds or less? Because you have 60 seconds to sell me. Can you get it done? And that's what this, as we round out, I know we're towards the bottom of the playlist, but that is the crux of this particular message is, can everybody access your stuff in 60 seconds or less? If you can do that, then you've passed the 60 seconds to sell checklist. Question, right? How do you test it? Well, what you can do is purposely have a question, go to some of your friends, reach out to them, say, hey, I'm going to give you my resume. I'm going to give you my GitHub. When I give you both of these, I'm going to ask you a question. Can you go find the answer in under 60 seconds? And the question can be as simple as, what is my most featured project? Or what do you think is my top project? At the same time, when they're entering your project, can you find my phone number if I give you my GitHub here? How would you logically get back? You can test it through them. That is a really easy way, because your friends, your family are more than happy to look around for you. But you're not going to get a recruiter to just go do that for you blindly, but you'll start to notice when they call you, when they text you, if you make it easy, you'll start to notice more response rate. But to be clear, in this video, more response rates are not going to be just because you make life easier for them to get access to you. The response rate is going to come from everything we've talked about in this playlist up above of checking your data, highlighting it, examining your bullet points, user experience, all of these things we're doing, all these things together give it so you have a better response rate. Now, I'm going to quit rambling on here because this is the end of the video. You now know what you need to do to go check if you can sell in 60 seconds or less. And I encourage you, I will leave a checklist on the screen now. This is the checklist you got to hit. If I can get access to all these things in under 60 seconds or less, you're doing good. Keep up the hard work. We'll see you in the next video, whether there's another one in this playlist, because at the current time of this recording, there shouldn't be, but there might be after that, or we'll see you in another video or one of our other definitive guides. Have a great rest of your day. See you all soon.